Welcome to Holding Space. Michael Zen is a visual producer and creative photographer using his imaginative visionary energy to channel Zen and hold space for spiritual and innovative discussion. Each episode creates a supportive, accepting, and open environment that allows exploration and expertise to come together with engaging and entertaining convergence. With guest and community all helping the shape of the way, Michael is grateful to be together to hold space. Now here is your host of Holding Space, Michael Zen.
Yes, here I am again. That must mean it's Tuesday to hold some space. My name is Michael Zinn. Just as you just heard, so many incredible words. I was trying to write them down to say, oh, I love it when he says this or that. But he says so many incredible words in the introduction. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction about what this is, right? This is a moment of intention, an hour of noticing that I have come online. Let me just go into my settings. My wife was using my StreamYard, and it says The Quiet Healer. I just noticed under my name, which is what my wife goes by. Let me just fix that. There we go. Just being in the moment, right? Like just that's what that's all about. It's 9:00 on the East Coast. It's Tuesday. It's August 4th. Can you believe it's August? I'm here to hold some space. I think it looks like I'm holding a little bit more space than usual. I feel like I'm gaining some weight. But anyway, it's good to be here, my loves. It's good to see you. I see Ashley Page out there. #live, reminding everybody that if you type in #live, I heard that the algorithm is ticklish. And if you type in #live specifically, it tickles the algorithm and it makes it squeak out the feed to other people. Hey, check out this show that's live. So that helps if you just type in #live like me and my shadow just did. Thank you very much for doing that. What's up, Carol McDowell? Good to see you. Thank you for being here, and good to see you, me and my shadow as well. It's always good when I see people filling up the front row. I'm excited. Tonight I have a returning champion. I love saying that. I got that from Alex Ferrari. Anybody who watches Next Level Soul, Todd Wilcox, who has a show, Slipstream. The Slipstream Shaman is his website. There's a show. It's Slipstream something. I made the intro. I forget what it is. He'll tell us when I bring him on. The Slipstream Shaman is his website. But we're going to talk to him in just a minute, because what do we have to do? Quiz right now. Anyone in the audience? What do we have to do right now? Hello? I know there's a little bit of a delay. That's right. The 3 breaths. We need to do the 3 breaths. And that is my co-host, Sage, my singing bull here, who I've been having some interesting conversations about just connections with things like the singing bull. I definitely have a connection with Sage. I often have said how Sage, I'll be talking in a room and Sage, I'll just hear Sage kind of go, ooh, reacting. And Ashley says, Sage the bull. So Sage, I just call her Sage. I don't say Sage the bull. That's like people who talk to AI and go, hey, AI, do this, do that. Anyway, let's do the 3 breaths. Let's connect to the breath. Again, I say it every week, I know, but it's just a good reminder that we breathe all day long. Breath is what keeps us alive. We don't even think about it. It just happens, right? Because our bodies are just, that's what our bodies do. But when we actually think about the breath, meaning feel it coming in through your nose, filling up your lungs, what's actually happening at the moment, right? Like just paying attention to the breath, connecting to it, becoming a part of you, and then releasing it with intention. Like that's all. What is that, like 15 seconds? Not even. And it's just connecting with the breath. We do it 3 times with Sage guiding us. I think I have to, this is going to change for you guys. I have to turn off in the audio settings, reduce background noise. So you guys probably just heard a shift in the audio. I'm imagining I'm experimenting with this so that you can hear Sage a little bit better. I see the second row filling up now. Kim Princess is here. Jennifer Rose is here. Good to see you guys. I think there's some room there in the first row still. But anyway, let's do the 3 breaths together. People, if you're sitting down, get comfortable. Here we go. In through the nose. And release with an intentional exhale. You can feel your shoulders kind of relax, and you can feel yourself in the chair. Just relax. Do the second breath in. Hold it up at the top for just a second, and then just release everything that you don't need. Sink into the chair. It feels good. One more breath together. In all the way. And release. Just feel yourself relax into the moment. We have successfully saged the space, cleansed it, and created intention to welcome back returning champion. He has a website called the Slipstream Shaman. He's got his own experience. He's very aware of that, and I love that. Right, everybody's experience here is different. His method is, he calls it a quantum alignment, which I think is really cool. He takes people into a quantum space, and then does his thing, and he'll tell you more about it because it's really cool. I love it. It kind of makes me feel like dreams, right? Dreams, I feel like, are a quantum space. But let's welcome returning champion, Mr. Todd Wilcox. How you doing, Todd?
I am doing great, and I love being a returning champion. I think that's fantastic. And also, Sage, what a great energy Sage brings to this.
Thank
And
you.
You can really follow the energy with Sage, and it was wonderful. Breathing, Sage going, all of us building instant rapport, breathing together. Fantastic way to open a show. Great job.
Thank you for receiving that the way it was intended. That's amazing. I love that. And thank you, Sherry, for sharing this out. That's another thing that you can do that's free, that helps grow this amazing community. And Sherry, thanks for reminding me to shout out the Sacred Spiral Network, which is actually where I met Todd originally, and many of you folks who are out there. Jennifer Rose is out there. Good to see you. Todd says, Arnie says we can hardly hear Todd. I hear Todd pretty good. But Todd, I don't know if you can make yourself louder in any way. I hear you pretty clearly. Maybe Arnie needs to make his computer louder. I also know, you know what, I just ran the show for Cheryl and Kelly, and StreamYard's acting a little weird these days, especially with audio, people popping in and out. Kim Princess also says, I can't hear Todd well. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Let me see if this helps, guys. And thank you for telling me what's going on. I'm going to put back reduce mic noise. Todd, let me hear you talk. Let me see if that helped.
I'm usually in trouble for being too loud, so this is a new experience. Being told that
Does that help you
people can't hear me.
guys? Does that help Todd's volume? I just changed my volume, probably went down a little bit. So just respond in the audience. Anyway, Todd, yeah, that's where I met Todd. Arnie says it's the same. All right, well, you guys just make your computers louder. Miss Shelley says he's quiet. He's a gentle soul. Let's say he's a gentle soul. I can hear you fine. So let's have our conversation.
Okay.
And people can go back and do whatever. I'm not too worried about it. So what I was saying was the community here was great. I was thanking everybody for being here with the intention, and I was saying that Kelly is away, and so shout out to Kelly for all of the hard work that she does still keeping the place running while she's gone. I was helping out with Cheryl's show. I know she's got people helping out. So kudos to everybody for still running your shows while she's away. And we met here on the Sacred Spiral Network because you have a show. What's the name of the show again? I know it's Slipstream.
The Slipstream Gift.
The Slipstream Gift, right? Okay, because you're co-hosting, and it's not just your thing. It was like a combination of the gift. Oh my goodness, I forget the dog's name. I'm so sorry. Tyson's gift, right? Tyson's gift, right? So Tyson's gift, and you got together, and the Slipstream Gift. But tell us about the Slipstream Shaman and just the Slipstream experience itself. What got you to that point to create this method?
Yeah, so it's been over 20 years ago. I was on a paranormal team, and when you do that kind of work, you start meeting other paranormal, people in that community. And I was invited to let me peek at something.
Okay. That's so weird because it doesn't seem that way to me. Normally I'm pretty sensitive to those things.
How does that sound?
It took a second to kick back in. I hear you. Okay. Yeah. Does everybody else just give us a comment if it changed, because now Todd's going in through his regular mic, I guess. No, Michelle, he says it's the same. This is odd. It's so weird. I hate pointing my finger at StreamYard, but like I feel like that's what's happening. Let me take a look at my settings. I've got my audio settings. Automatically adjust volume. That probably would just affect me. No. If I turn that on, let me also switch to my webcam microphone. How you guys hearing it now? I know Arnie, you just said Michael, you are fine.
Yeah, I can hear you great, Michael.
You hear me?
Yes.
Did that change? Did my audio settings affect Todd at all? Can everyone hear Todd any better? So weird. Computer mic was not picking up. Sorry, it was. Okay. Weird. Hey, you guys are part of the technical what is it called? Oh my God, troubleshooting. Troubleshooting. We're doing some troubleshooting. Yeah. I got lowered. Todd is the same. All right, let me go back to my settings and put that back to where it was then. My audio settings are set to automatically adjust. So in StreamYard, when you go into your audio settings, what does it say? You've got echo cancellation, reduce background noise, automatically adjust volume. Do you have those settings?
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't see anything like that.
If you click on the little gear and then you go into the audio section, it should bring up a pop-up. I don't know what platform you're working.
Microphone, test. Yeah, it's not. So it says echo cancellation and automatically adjust mic volume.
So click that off and then crank it up a bit, because then you'll have a little volume now. If you click off the automatic.
How does that sound? Did I get any better?
Oh, that is louder. Yeah, that is better. How's that sound, guys? Does that sound better to you guys? I think that might have done it, Todd.
Very good.
All right, so let's get undistracted and get back to talking about you, holding space for you, Todd. I mean, I feel like you have your show, you do your thing. I know you said you don't like to use the word healer, which I agree with. I feel like we're all kind of here to help each other remember how to heal ourselves, right? And I feel like that's kind of what you're doing. But I love the fact that you take people into a quantum realm, because I feel like that is a big part of the shift that's going on, right? When people talk about the shift, I think a big part of it is us understanding that part of ourselves that is not physical, but still ourselves.
Yes. So I'm inviting them into a place of spirit and energy. And when you get there, you can really do anything. If you've ever had a lucid dream where you could fly or swim underwater without breathing, it's almost the same experience. You can literally do anything once you're in that place of spirit and energy. And as you were playing Sage earlier, I was reminded that I used to use rattles to get me to that place. And the rattles were just great to really help me focus my thoughts and my energy. Um, I People that know me wouldn't say my thoughts are super focused, but they're much more focused than they were. So I'm able to do it without the rattles now. Um, so yeah, I take people to that place and we look at them. I have a warrior team that has dogs primarily, the energy of dogs that sniff around a person, find where the energy is a problem. We remove it and help them move forward, get their energy moving right so that they can heal. I kind of look at it like I'm the straw that broke the camel's back of the injury. So they're doing the things. Their bodies are healing on their own. The doctors might be helping, and then I'm that one little push, that last thing they needed to get them where they needed to go.
Wow. That's really interesting, and it's interesting what you were saying about rattles, because I feel like I remember what that was me brought up for me was hape, right? I don't know if you're familiar with hape. Um, Hape is like an ancient tribal. I forget where it originates. Um, it's like a tobacco, a ground up tobacco that somebody puffs into your nose. It's like a little snort, right? And
Yeah,
and it's not a hallucinogen, it's not a drug. It's a more, I guess, akin to like a cigarette, right? If it's made out of tobacco, but it's a spiritual um totem, I guess, if I guess that's what you would call it, to create this energetic moment and connection and to be in the moment. But I can remember when I was doing it, it was very ceremonial, and the gentleman, Barry Mangione, who was running that for me, he had like feathers that were almost like rattles, and he was like going around me. And so when you said rattles, I mean, that's a very visceral experience, especially if you've got your eyes closed and you're in like a meditative moment. That can become, I can see that how can become like a bridge almost, to a space.
yeah, and it might be a little off topic, but I collect rocks all the time for rattles, for their energy. I feel the energy, and then also when I find different sticks, I know that someday they're gonna be somebody's rattle,
Oh, wow.
and they tell me who they're going to be when it's time to build them.
Wow.
I had one for years that I kept trying to work on, and I would just put it back down and do something else, and then I finally realized who it was for. Once the rattle told me who it was for, I made it immediately and got it to them. So yeah,
Wow.
the energy is looking for people, looking for somebody to help.
I love that. Oh, I'm so intrigued by that. Do you have anything like that you around you that you can show us? That's so cool. So you make your
Uh,
own rattles from rocks
yeah,
and sticks, and what
yeah,
do you use, like something organic for the casing? Do you use like turtle shells or something? My brain's going crazy right
yeah.
now.
No, I used branches and roots, and yeah. Let me go grab a couple. I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
very cool. I think that's very cool, Todd. Awesome. I'm excited about this. Very cool. I love how conversations, can take these tangents and inspire this because, I met Todd on the show the last time. We talked a bit about his website. We talked a bit about the show that was coming up. I think that was, part of the reason I had him on because he was coming up with the show. I had created the
Yeah,
introduction to the show, working with Kelly on the Sacred Spiral Network, and that was kind of what originally connected us. But I just think this is so cool, getting to know more about this. Oh, that is cool.
so this is a branch from something I found in Central Oregon, and it's hard to tell with this, but when you look at it, this is a dragon.
Hmm.
You can see a dragon,
Sure, I
on
see it.
one
I
side,
can see it.
and the other way. There's two different dragons on this one. I really love it, and I put some symbols. They tell me what symbols. This is me.
Mm,
Um, the oh, not
I
sure
can
what
see
I'm
it.
doing
It
with the
almost looks
light.
like a footprint, right? It's almost like a,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
big footprint with
yeah.
an elk antler in the middle.
I love it. It's interesting that you say that because when you're holding up these objects, I know that they're twigs, but I do get like an antler feel also. I feel like they have
Yes.
this real, like you were saying, like energy. There's so much energy there that like is just amazing. Wow. God, so
Yeah.
cool.
And the odder the shape, the more I like them. Um, and they tell me who to work with. And that
Amazing.
that symbol with the footprint, that's me. That's one of my spirit animals is Sasquatch.
Oh, I
And
love it.
so yeah, and the first two that came to me was a bull elk and a Sasquatch, and so they became my symbol. And then I put the year
Interesting.
that I made the rattle below it.
Oh, wow. Very cool. I love that. I'm so glad that you had those to share. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
sharing those. Those are cool. I'm gonna send my energy your way. So maybe one day you should send me a surprise. Those are very cool. I really just love the idea, and I love what it's really saying to me, right? It's really expressing to me this connection with energy that I don't think I thought of, right? Not that I,
right.
like I just kind of didn't think about how what you're doing is such an energetic exchange, almost like with Gaia, right? Like it's really sacred, man. Holy shit, that's really really cool.
Yeah, one of the rattles I did that really means the most to me is I have a good friend that lives in Nevada, and he had a second round of cancer, and this one was in his mouth and his jaw, and they had to take a lot of his jaw out and rebuild it, and he was in about a 3 month recovery, and it was very painful, and he had a tough time. And so I had a branch from a black walnut tree. It was about 6, 7 inches long. This guy's got gigantic hands, so I had to look for a thick one. And I made him that rattle, and I bit my arm to look at what my tooth prints looked like. And then I made that shape. I made a tooth print, outline on his rattle.
Oh
And
wow.
I told him, when you're down, when you're happy, whatever, during your recovery, hold this rattle and look at those teeth marks and know that that's what your jaw is going to look like. That's the end
Right,
result.
right, right.
That's what you're working towards. And just think
Wow,
about that every day. Shake that rattle and really think about the end result, walking out of that hospital with your jaw reformed and your teeth all in the right place and everything good. And
wow.
it helped him. His mother thanked me a lot, and he thanked me a lot, and it really kept him focused on the right thing, which was healing, while he was going through all that pain.
Amazing. Yeah, what an amazing, again, you're I mean, I'm not I don't practice like being psychic, right? But I feel like my intuition bubbles up, and I got to tell you, Todd, I just feel like you're a wizard, right? Like there's just you're talking to me like you're a wizard. You're just connected to that kind of alchemy.
Yeah,
Um,
I love that. Thank you.
yeah, really, really, really cool. Okay, so tell me more about, take me through, to today. I mean, I want to hear your journey. I love this. This is
Sure.
perfect. Wow.
Yeah, so like I said, it started out as um, I was with a paranormal group, and we were going to help people that nobody else could help. And one of the questions I asked was, well, if my group can't help them, your group can't help them, how's this group that we're putting together going to help them? And
Mhm,
so we really started looking at different ways that we could possibly help people. And one was we brought in a shaman to train us. And as the shaman was training us, she was describing how her energy looked as she was forming it. And that's, you'll see me do that tonight. I'll start forming my energy, really getting a hold of it, and then covering myself in it.
mhm,
And she described it as being hot and red,
mhm,
and acted like that's what ours should look like. And mine didn't look that way at all. It was
mhm, mhm,
cool. It was light blue. It was shaped different than what she was talking about, and it really made it hard for me to go along with her training. I listened to the training, but I
Mhm.
kind of checked out, and I didn't interrupt anybody or mess up what she was doing. But when I got home, I started experimenting on my own,
Mhm.
and I found I could find my energy really fast.
Mhm.
And as I was experimenting, just seeing what would happen, I ended up in this place that was the best way to describe it was like being inside of a cloud, a big cloud that's getting ready to rain. It was kind of a gray mist, kind of swirling around you all the time.
Mhm.
And while I was there, um, I I started thinking about how am I going to help these people? You know, do we need some warriors? And when I had that thought, a beagle of mine that had passed away comes walking up to me, Desi.
Mhm.
She was the prettiest little dog you'd ever seen, and she would rip you up. She was so protective of our family, the yard,
Mhm.
her other dog, super protective. Rats, snakes, big dogs didn't matter. She'd beat them up. Um,
Mhm.
and so she was a perfect choice for the warrior team. And then other dogs started coming that I'd had, the energy of them. An uncle who'd served twice in two different wars with the Marines, just a really serious Marine. And so I got all these warrior energies to help me help these other people.
Mhm.
And what I found was the warriors were really good at when we would bring people into the quantum room. Desi could go sniff something out. Her nose was amazing. She could find anything. And so she would start sniffing around the person and pull something out of them. Now the people aren't there. They're in another state, another city, another country. Just their energies there. But she's
Right.
pulling these things out of them. So she might sniff around somebody's knee and pull out some sandpaper, and we'll heal the sandpaper. It was kind of a long process. At first, we just pulled the stuff out and threw it away, and let them heal. Then
Right.
I remembered nature abhors a vacuum. So we've got if we pull something out of them, we have to put something back into them. So we
Okay.
created a love team. And again, some of my dogs, a favorite aunt, different people started coming to be in the love team. And so we would pull things out of people, fill that space with love so that they could heal.
Right.
And then I got
Love
thinking
that
about
term.
the things we were pulling out of them. I thought these things started with a positive intent. We need to honor them and help them go back to their original energy. So we pull that sandpaper out, we give it some cleansing energy, then some love energy, and it changes from sandpaper to maybe a mouse. The representation of the energy changes, and it
Right.
goes
Right.
back into the universe where it can
Wow.
do its good. And that's essentially what I do with people is Desi sniffs around, finds things. The warrior dogs help her remove it and hold it until we can get it cleaned and healed, and then we put healing energy into that person to fill up the spot.
That's really really interesting, and I do feel like there's definitely some like uniqueness to that whole process, right? I think it's very there are similar things to a lot of the stuff that we hear talk about with healing and stuff like that, but I can see why you're like it's not really healing, it's like a whole different process. And the audience seems to agree. Michelle says that's amazing.
Good.
And wow, love for you do this to me. It's just beautiful. I would love for you to do this to me. It's just beautiful. Kelly saying amazing. And actually, Michelle, I want to just address this too, because earlier when you were talking about, I forget what you were talking about, but Michelle's comment was, wow, did everyone move? I don't know if you like had some sort of sensation or something when something happened. But that's kind of what I got from that, Michelle. Did you just like have an experience of a moment like did like you do a time jump or something like that? Some really crazy stuff has been going on, Todd, like just these days, right? Like energy is just thrashing all over the place, right? I mean, would you agree with that?
Oh, without question, the energy. This is a great time to be what we do, Michael.
Mhm.
The energy is strong. People are open to it now, and it's really a great time to help people. And with me, I don't charge for this. I don't do a lot of sessions anymore. I was on a radio show a few years ago, and I used to always say, "Hey, send me an email and I'll do one of these for you." I got thousands of them.
Oh my goodness.
from that one show. That was 3 years ago, maybe four.
Oh,
I still haven't gotten through them all.
I can't
So I
imagine.
don't
Yeah,
throw that out there anymore. But I do them on these type of things.
I
And
got you.
what I realized I could do and should do instead of me trying to, you know, burn myself up doing these healings was to teach other people to do that. And so
Absolutely. Yeah.
in the book, I walk you through my process, and then I have an online course that you can do that's, you know, not very expensive that would take you through it. And that's I keep the price way down just to kind of give back.
Cool. Let me actually pop that up on the bottom here. My slipstreamshaman.com is Todd's website where you can read more about what we're talking about. Again, what intrigued me was just I feel like language is such a trap, right? Because it's so limited in the way that we talk about things, and there's so much going on right now. And I love that kind of like quantum theory and the whole quantum wing of science has brought attention to some of the concepts of what the quantum is, because there's a huge crossover, I think, with spirituality. And for me, and I'm just thinking out loud here, excuse me, but for me, spirituality is um, not religion, but like religion, it's faith in the idea that there is a non-physical realm that kind of is bigger than the physical realm. I guess, like, to make it real basic, right? Does that make sense to you? Does that resonate?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And a funny story kind of along those lines is I was at an event called Contact in the Desert a few years ago. Um, and I met with a gentleman that's been on Ancient Aliens a bunch of times and different shows like that, named
Mhm.
Mahuti is his last name, and I'm
Okay.
blank on his first name. Great guy. And as we were talking, he talked about when he was going through college and he was learning physics. And one of the people sitting by him says, "Why aren't you taking notes?" He says, "Well, I grew up on this stuff." Growing up on, I believe it was the Hopi reservation. He says, "This is what we did.
Yeah.
This is not nothing new for me. This is where I live. I don't need notes." And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
thought that was great. Um,
Totally. Totally. And I think that's what's so cool too about this shift, right? And this whole idea of ascension, really, because I feel like it's like cyclical, right? Like, where it's almost like it's coming from ancient times. I feel like a lot of times for me, learning things is more like remembering things, and
yes,
this kind of knowing feeling that comes through sometimes when I'm talking about certain things or thinking about certain things. It's like, you know what? I don't need to define that because I just know it. You know what I mean? And it kind of that
right.
supersedes, the need to take it further, because again, like I was saying at the beginning, language is kind of a trap. You know what I mean? So it's like we can't even use words to define some of these things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're truly beyond description. A lot of the things that we do as we're working with energy, and you just have to feel it and be a part of it and immerse yourself in it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I definitely I would love to for you to demonstrate a little bit and kind of take us through some of that. Um, but and then I was just going to ask you, I was going to say, but before we do that, let's do this. And now I totally forgot what I was going to say. Uh, but let me try to think of what I was going to say before we do that. I mean, oh yeah, I know what I wanted to discuss. I wanted to discuss the idea of the quantum, just the idea of quantum, right, and what it is, and how similar, what's the overlap with dreams, as we were talking a little bit before the show, and is that kind of, I think for me, that's kind of the best way to try to explain people how we're already a part of it. Like, it's already a part of your life. You already understand it. You just labeled it dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I was saying before, with I've only had two lucid dreams my entire life, and they were just amazing. And I could do anything. I could, I was a superhero in one. I was swimming in a river, underwater and interacting with fish in another. I could do anything I wanted, and truly that's what it's like when you get to this realm. And then another component we can add to it is if you think about dreams and the very vivid dreams you've had, and then you cross that with meditation, prayer, groupthink, all those things kind of tie into each other. And then you have the whole quantum entanglement, where really every particle in the universe can communicate with any particle in the universe anytime it wants for as long as it wants, no matter how far away they are.
I
So
believe that.
everything is touching each other in reality through the energy. So you can look at it as dreams, as prayer, as groupthink, as meditation. There's so many accesses to this energy, and but
I
dreams.
agree. I love that. It's such a good. I love thinking about this, and even though I do say like language is a trap, right? And it's you can't describe these things. I think I love the challenge of trying. I think that's what we're even doing right now, right? Is just
Yes.
trying to describe dreams. But the thing that I like, the thing that quantum kind of says to me, which again is like almost like this kind of you get to a point where it's just like this faith, right? Is infinite possibilities, right? All at once, right? And I know for me, like I've had one experience that I would use a label for, right? I don't like labels in the language, but people talk about having downloads. And I had one experience that I would consider a download, and in that experience, it's a long story, but the end of the experience was basically that reality exists within imagination. It's not the other way around. And that's kind of the same argument that they're talking about, like consciousness being not consciousness isn't emergent of a function that happens. Consciousness is fundamental, and the function that's happening is tuning into that fundamental energy. um which again, like that's probably as far as I can go with words, right? Because
Right.
like the rest of it is just a knowing and just like a being attached to that.
Yes. And I want to talk a little bit about downloads. Oh my Lord, when you are lucky enough to get those, it is amazing. I've had several. Um, Most of the time when I get a download, it's a view into a parallel life.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
And it just the whole thing just, you talk about at the end of life that you have the life review.
mhm,
It's very similar to that. I'm seeing an entire
mhm.
different timeline of mine.
In a second.
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
second.
Yep.
And it is just amazing, and it really gets your brain firing. And here's the other thing. The stuff that I do doesn't doesn't work well with our brain. Um,
Mhm,
my
mhm,
brain is not really capable of completely understanding the quantum thing. So if I don't make notes, if I don't do dictation, if I don't talk out loud, I don't remember the session. Within 20 minutes of working with somebody, I don't remember what we did
right,
because my human brain is not able to keep that.
right,
So
right.
it's on a whole different level,
Mhm,
so much bigger than what we usually work at.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Sure, I get it. It's more like a conduit than actually, yeah, doing. Yeah, incredible. I agree. That was a good way to describe it, right? Like you have this incredible experience that is so vivid, and there's so much to it, but literally it happens in just a second, and you're just like, wait a second,
Yeah.
what the hell was that, right? Like,
Yes.
was that real? And again, mine was just like, yeah, that was real, and that was also in your imagination because that's where it happens. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And it kind of explained it to me, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I understood it at the time, but I don't now, really.
You have to start writing really fast.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly, exactly. It's so great. It's so great. So again, I guess so. Now's probably a good time to talk about like maybe uh, giving us a demonstration or maybe some
sure.
early like beginning. Like, how would you start to approach this?
Yeah.
But like
Um,
meditation, obviously, we talked about dreams and meditation and prayer. I think those things most of this audience is familiar with. So,
yeah. So through practice, I'm able to get to that state really fast now. Um, one of the struggles that I have with some traditional shamanism is that it takes so long.
mm,
I don't have the ability to stay focused for the length of time that many shamanic techniques take. So that's where the slipstream part of this comes in.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. That
it's
makes sense.
it's all about being fast, and through the years, I figured out a way to get to that place of energy and spirit fast, and that's part of what I teach. But what used to take me hours, now I'm doing in seconds. And so what I do is I start finding my energy, and as soon as I feel that coolness in my palms, and as people are trying this, you may not feel cool energy, but you'll probably feel something pushing against your palms as you get them closer and closer. It's like trying to push back, like bat when you put two magnets by each other, and they're pushing
Should I
away.
be
It kind
doing
of
this
feels
with
like
you? Should
that.
I be kind of trying to experience this, or?
Sure, if you'd like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
do.
give
Yeah,
it
I
a
do.
shot.
Of course. Yeah.
And yours may be warm or hot,
Okay.
um, and you may see it, you may not.
Mhm.
Not everybody does, but I can assure you it's there. And as I find my energy and get focused on it, I just take it and I cover myself in it. And as soon as I cover myself in it, I'm in my quantum room.
Mm. Wow.
And the quantum room is no longer that cloud that I was talking about. It's now in deep space, and we're just floating, and I can see different waves of energy going by me. I can see different starlights. It's just a really peaceful place to float. And this is where I would invite somebody to come in to do a session with me. And
Wow.
I used to worry that I needed to have permission from people. So I wouldn't even start a session unless they told me it was okay. And then I realized that I'm inviting their energy to come see me. That's the permission. If they come to see me, they just gave permission. So I
Wow.
don't I don't, like say, do you give me permission? Which I used to, or I would want somebody to give me permission. I've worked with people that are in comas, and I've had a relative give me permission. I've worked with people that are doing transplants, and I've had part of the medical team give me permission. But when the person comes to see me, I call
That's
that
the
the
permission.
permission.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. Well, definitely going to want to talk to you after this because I'm super intrigued by this, and I definitely want to. I think again, as we were talking, I think that's a part of the shift that's happening, right? And I think it's amazing that you're doing that. I'm sure that you feel the same way, right? Like you're helping to usher in this knowledge. You know what I mean? This, this, and it's human knowledge, without like trying to turn the corner into like conspiracy theory and all that stuff. Like it's almost like a human right, that's just like it hasn't been around. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
um, yeah,
And we're remembering. And you said it earlier, and it hit a chord with me. As I'm teaching people to remember.
yeah, absolutely. No, no, I love that. I think that's great. And Kells Garrick is inviting you in as well. You're more than welcome. My body is tingling. See, and you know what I didn't want to say, but so for people who are used to meditating, um, at least I know for me, a good meditation session, a good leader will take you through the meditation. That was just a little, that was almost like a little spoon taste of what that might be like. But
Yeah.
then once you go through a session, which how long is a session with you?
Here's the funny part. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 20. Um, on the physical side, it could be 5 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
On the energy side, it may feel like 5 minutes to 17 hours.
Hmm.
It's really strange. Sometimes I feel like I've been doing something for hours and it's been literally minutes.
Right.
And other times it's opposite. So time is completely different in that place.
Perfect. No,
It's
agreed.
all at once.
Agreed.
It's no linear. It's all at once. So it's very different.
Agreed. And so I'm imagining also similar to a meditation, a guided meditation. At the end of a guided meditation, you're brought back, right? So you're brought to a space in a meditation, whatever that might be for you.
Mhm.
And I don't think enough people understand that it's going to feel different for everyone, right?
Right.
Don't try to get in the trap of words like it should feel this way or it should look that way,
Right.
because it's going to be different for everybody. And that's kind of the point, right? Like that's another spiritual thing, right? Like we're all here to experience life as us, right? Which is our
Yes.
own perspective. So like all of this stuff ties together. But so what I was getting to at the end of a good meditation too, especially a group, is like a sharing moment, right? Like people talk about what they experienced. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because Kels was saying my body is tingling.
Yeah.
When I asked you if I should be doing it, like it was very quick, immediately. Like I've meditated before, so I kind of intuitively knew where to go with that, and I immediately felt like that resistance that you were talking about,
Mhm.
and almost like a throbbing at a moment, right? And then I wasn't even watching; my eyes were closed. You said something about covering yourself, and I just kind of, did this
Yeah.
instinctive motion, and immediately I was in that meditative state as far as the visuals, because that's what you described next, right? You said you might be
Right.
seeing this, you might be seeing that, and I was definitely in what I would say is one of my meditative states, right? Because even for me, every time I meditate is not the same. Every
Right.
time might be a little different. Now there are similarities, I think, that I experience, um, that I may experience in one session and not in another, but like glowing, energetic colors, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Kaleidoscopic patterns, different
Yes.
things. And those are all indications that you're heading to that space.
Yes. And people have described virtually anything you can imagine, what their energy looks like, all the colors you can imagine, multiple colors. Their quantum rooms have been anything from being under the sea to sitting alongside a pond, sitting on a rock on a mountain, floating in space, being on the moon, being in their favorite muscle car. I mean, it has run the gamut of anything you can imagine is their quantum rooms, and it's where their energy takes them. And there's no right one and there's no wrong one. It's yours, and you just go there. And like I said, mine's changed. I don't know why it changed. I guess I don't care why it changed. I just went with it. It changed. So there we are. So
So,
yeah. So
so
everybody's experience is different.
tell us more about that. So when you said yours changed, so
Yeah, mine started out as that place. It was very just like being in a cloud, just dark mist
okay, you were talking about
floating
that.
around us. Then it changed to a window opened up in it, and I could see into this meadow, and a very beautiful meadow. And I'd sometimes just walk through that window. I guess it might have been more of a door than a window because I could walk through it. Um, and I would sit in the meadow, feel the sun, feel a breeze. Um, Sometimes I would smell what was there. It was really a peaceful, beautiful place to be. And then that evolved to just being in deep space, where I'm not by any star. I'm out in the dark, and it's very calming for me. It's very quiet for me,
Mhm.
and it seems like a really great place. And when I really need people to have when we really need to give them a lot of energy, you can feel the shift in the cosmic energy, I guess you'd say, since we're out in the middle of the cosmos, changing to
Mhm.
where like rivers of energy will be coming to us to really help the person with their task.
Amazing, amazing. So, you started the story by talking about your interest brought you to this point of hiring a shaman to train you, and I'm imagining, a shaman, can mean a lot of different things, but you're talking about probably somebody who's trained in ancient arts, you know what I mean, of connecting to higher levels, right?
Yes.
I guess that's what I would say.
Yeah.
um, which is great. And I think, again, because I think that's where humanity is, right? And you're, I think, one of the fortunate people who have been able to kind of tune into that energy and that aspect of yourself. And I don't want to necessarily, again, I'm so careful with my words. I don't want to say necessarily tune out of the part of you that was like, that conspiracy theory kind of thing I started talking about, where we've been conditioned with all of these layers, right, of not being that part of ourselves. Um, what are you most excited about right now in this moment? I guess that's where I'm going with all this.
Yeah. So something that really excites me is finding little moments of excitement. Some people call it glimmers. So
Hmm.
you're walking around and a hummingbird comes up to you. Just that glimmer, that moment of pure joy of beauty and love. And so I'm really looking at glimmers and how I can help people find glimmers. And I'm I'm working on a project to help people with a sick family member and do some free training for them to where the whole family starts looking for glimmers. And I think it's important when somebody's sick that we focus on, just like the young man where I wanted him to see the outline of what his teeth were going to look like when they're all done. I think people that are sick need to really focus on the end result of health
Yeah.
and not on the current state of pain
Oh my
and
goodness. Yeah.
damage. And
Totally.
so the glimmers, a friend of mine talked about going on an awe walk where you're walking wherever. It might be in a city, it might be at your house, it might be in your yard or a park, and you just look for things that make you go, ah. Um, Again, it might be you
I
might be
love that.
looking at some ants. You might watch a jet go by and watch the contrails. You might look at a face in the cloud.
Right.
Anything that just gives you an awe. It was really,
I
really great
love
to
that.
see
I
it.
love that because it's like it's intention, right?
Mhm.
It's almost like what I just was thinking about. I love talking to you because you always make me think of these metaphors. What I just thought about was a daily journal with a prompt, right? Like you're going on a walk with the intention of like fulfilling this prompt of like what's going to make you go what's going to
Yeah,
make you stop for a second and be like, holy shit, life is
it's
fucking amazing.
yeah, absolutely. I saw a swallow go by that I didn't never realized it had this many colors. As it flew by me, I saw purple, blue, black, just an amazing array of colors on its feathers, and it was amazing. And had I not been in that frame of mind looking for the it would have just been another bird flying by
Totally
on my way back
amazing.
to my car after I did a walk.
What a
But the
great place
largest
to
I
be in.
found, yeah, just finding Yeah, it was
What a great
wonderful.
finding I love it. I love it. Amazing. Amazing. Well, you're so amazing to talk to. I don't know if anybody out there has any questions for you, or is curious about the technique and how it might apply to them. I mean, I know, Kels, you said you're more than welcome, but I know I have questions. I would love to have a session with Todd. I'm going to talk to him about my own stuff, on my own time, but just in general about this process. As we wrap up the show, I'd love to just open it up for anybody who's out there to you know ask a
Yeah,
question. Tell us about an experience. Kels was telling us her body was tingling when we had that experience. Has anyone had any kind of meditation or dream experience that might relate to what we were talking about, like you might have felt like had a connection to the quantum realm.
yeah.
uh,
And while they're typing, I can encourage people to, on YouTube, just type Todd Wilcox or Slipstream Shaman, and you'll see different interviews I've done, and you'll see me go through this process. Especially if it's one of the Slipstream gift ones. We do 2 or 3 of these processes in most of our shows. So if you want to see what it looks like, you can certainly do that. And
Awesome.
if you have questions, you can go to so myslipstreamshaman.com is where the online training course is. Slipstreamshaman.com has a link to it, but it also has an email. If you have questions for me, you can go there and
Oh,
ask
okay. I
questions.
didn't realize that. My Slipstream was the one that came up.
Yeah, but and that one's fine. That one leads to the course. And slipstreamshaman.com has a link to that course also, but also to the book and to the
I was just going to say, it also looks kind of cool. It looks like it has a
yeah.
link. It looks like it has a
And
link to the book as well. So let me just get
yes,
this. There we
the
go.
amazing thing is that is exactly what my energy looked like at the time when I talked to a friend that was on another radio show I did. And she's a graphic artist. I told her what I wanted it to look like. That was her first draft right there.
And you were like, done.
Done. Yeah. And
Amazing.
I love the Vasquez rocks. She's got the Vasquez rocks in the background. That energy is exactly what mine looked like. And if you go to the darker parts of that, you can kind of see what my quantum room looks like now.
I love it. I love the image. I love the idea. And it just made me think of this as we wrap it up. We could talk about this. Have you ever heard of Mind Sight?
Mind Sight. Yes, I've heard it. Trying to remember where I saw that. I have not investigated it, but I saw somebody wearing a Mind Sight shirt, and I was going to.
What is that? Yeah. A woman is she's just kind of bringing back the idea that, our sight is a sense, but we don't necessarily need our eyes to see. She works with, I forget what they're called, a very specific thing, with the cards with the shapes that a mind reader would hold up, and say, oh, you're holding up a star. That's just the outline, or a solid star, or whatever. There's a certain name for that. So I saw a woman on Acid for Squares, which is a podcast that I push here all the time. And she was training people, and she had people who actually did not have eyes, were able to see things. She actually, right on the show, not just identified shapes that were being held up, but read a paragraph from a book, verbatim. It was nuts, right? And I just want to say, I believe in that. I believe in the power of connecting to the non-physical realm in order to, that's what it is to me, right? That must be it, connecting to some sort of sense that doesn't need the physical aspect to describe the physical aspect. And so I was just in the bathroom, standing in front of the mirror, and I closed my eyes, and I was just moving my hand in front of me, and I think it was a little bit of a meditative power, and understanding meditation and just understanding my own mind. But I literally saw my hand in front of me moving with my eyes closed. I literally saw it, and it didn't look like my hand. It looked like my hand in that I knew it was my hand, but it looked like energy, and it looked like movement. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. You know what I mean? And our conversation just made me think about that. Again, the power of just using your mind to get into that quantum state, which is omnipresent.
It reminds, I've had that same experience where I can see the hand moving when I'm in a meditative state, and I'm moving my hand in front of me. I can also see the stuff in the room in a way, and what it seems to be like is like fish use, dolphins, whales use the echo, and they get back what's in front of them. It's almost like I'm doing an echo of the energy of the tables,
I
of
love
my
that.
hand.
Yeah, I love that. It's exactly a great way to describe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was, I was just blown away. I'm like, holy shit, do I want to like start exploring this, or should I just
Yeah.
like just be like, cool, this is cool, I can do this, right? Or do I want to like
Yeah.
really get into it? Like it's pretty nuts. And let's see if we can help Kels, because Kels says, I've had something I can feel really drawn to lately, and I don't know if I like the feel of it and what it's about and how do I control it. A lot of anxiety, what I am hearing. I'm not really sure what that means. But are you feeling
Yeah.
anything from that?
So, couple things. One, the immediate thought is if you're not sure you like the way it's feeling, that's probably a sign that you need to stay away from it. But there's a caveat to this. I can always tell when I'm about to do one of these podcasts or if I'm going to be the host, I can always tell when one's going to be good because I feel like I'm going to throw up. I want to quit and not even tell the person, and I never want to do it again, right? And then it starts and everything goes great. And I was feeling that way at the start of this.
Oh, I was
There's
hoping you were going to say it.
yes, and I feel like this has gone fantastic. And there's a story about some golfers. Two golfers were tied at the end of a tournament. It was a big one, like the Masters or the U.S. Open, and they were tied. And Jack Nicklaus was one of the golfers, and they both hit. And as they're walking to the ball for their next shot, the younger guy turns to him and says, "Man, my stomach's a mess. I feel like I'm going to puke. I'm jittering. I'm going nuts." And Nicholas turns to him and says, "Yeah, isn't it great?" And so, guess who won?
I love that. That's awesome. What a great
And
story.
so when I find myself doing that, when I find myself getting wound up like that, what I believe is happening is I'm really tuned into what's about to happen. I'm really tuned into the energy, the universe, the person, everything that's about to happen. I'm already dialed into it. And my spirit knows it's going to be great. My energy knows it's going to be great. My body doesn't quite understand how to handle that extra change in the energy, and it manifests as kind of an upset stomach. So now, when I start feeling that way, I go, "Oh man, this is going to be fun. I can't wait for this to start."
I love what you're saying. I don't want to even say it out loud because something will happen. But like I say that about adversity, right? Like I've just been enjoying adversity lately because it's like I know I'm going to get through it. I know it's just something I got to deal with,
Yeah,
and then I'll get through it, and I'll be like, that was easy, that shit, you know what I mean, or whatever. I'll just be happier for getting through it. So I
yeah,
totally relate to what you're saying, and I do think it's a perspective, it's a mode. It's like put your car in drive, right? Like put your car in that mode to get through life, and just it'll be so much easier. You know what I mean? It can be so difficult. And Kelsey's saying yes, me too. Um, Amazing. Yeah, this was an amazing conversation, Todd. Thank you so much. And I am definitely serious about engaging with you. I know you said you still have thousands of letters to get through and sessions to do, but I mean, I'm definitely, I think, what's the words I want to say? I mean, I definitely feel like I'm close enough to understanding how to tune in and out of this quantum realm to just with a little bit of help, maybe get it a little bit more under control and not under control. Those aren't the right words that I want to say. I think you know what I'm trying to say, but just
yeah.
like to be able to explore it a little bit and
Yes.
understand my own accountability within it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get together for
Yeah,
sure.
awesome. And K Weezy is out there. I didn't know you were out there, K Weezy. I'm glad you're um, piping up, chiming in. Yes, I did send you a friend request. I found you on two different profiles, a K Weezy and a K Wezzy, but it both look like the same person. Looked like it was you. I think it was you. So I did send that to you. I definitely want to talk to you. Hopefully I'm getting a reading. I want to talk to you about your reading because you're always asking the same question, and I know that you have the answer. I know you got a little bit of a reading on the show earlier, and that was actually something important too. You got the reading that you were actually, had this power, and you're just always asking for the reading. And should music be my life? And that is the answer. You are the answer. You know what I mean? Like you should be you, and if you are tuned into this energy, I think Kelly and Cheryl were saying your grandmother, who you're always asking for a message from, was laughing because they were asking, what did she say? Kelly said, she's like, why are you ladies even here? I talk to my grandson every day. You know what I mean? And you do talk to your grandmother. You are connected to your grandmother, and you do need to move forward in the physical realm and understand that you're connected to her in the non-physical realm. And you got to move forward from that, and you got to be you got to be the you that you want to be, the musician. I took a look at some of your videos, and I actually saw one video, and I feel like you got to make more. Keep making the music that you're talking about. Music can only be your life if you're doing music all the time. Make new music. Don't not rely. What is it? Rest on your laurels. Don't be like, hey, I made this video, how come nobody see me? Keep doing it. Do music all the time. Be music. Be that musician that you're talking about. And I know you can, because you're always talking about it. And I don't mean to blabber on and preach at you. I'm not. I believe in you. I feel like you need to believe in yourself. You need to see who you are. You have your own, that wheezy style. You have that own wheeze to your voice. Like, I think you should be who you are, because that's what you're supposed to be. That's what you're here for. So that's what I encourage. That's my reading to you, and my encouragement to you. Reach out to me. I will definitely have you on an episode. We can definitely talk about who you are. We can definitely play your music. We can give you the spotlight. You know what I mean? I could hold some space for you. I would be honored. Anyway, that's my reading for K Weezy. And Michelle, thank you for always being there. Very interesting show. Yeah, it always is. That's what life is about, right? It's interesting. I love that message. Go get it, K Weezy. Thank you so much for that. It's the truth, my friend. I only say what I feel. It comes from the heart. Thank you, Todd, so much for being here. Hugs Absolutely. To all. I'm glad you like the music. I want you to keep doing your thing. And you will come back, and don't go away after the credits, because like I said, I want to talk and I want to hang out with you. Thank you guys so much. This show wouldn't exist without you. Like, it would exist, but it would just be me and Todd talking to nobody. So thank you guys for being there to receive this stuff. These are conversations you don't get to have necessarily at the workplace, but they are conversations that are happening all over the place. So find your tribe. Believe that you are not weird. Things are weird. You're not weird. Things are weird. Just be a part of the weirdness. All right, fellas and ladies, peace. I love you all. Adios.